I haven't met some of you. Thank you for joining us. Uh, every time we have about a 5 minute talk about a common health subject, and if you have any questions, I'm always available for answers. I wanted to, but the subject that I was thinking about talking about was probiotics because we hear about them, we hear that they're good for us, and but what I see from patients is that a lot of people are confused what to take, what is good, what is bad, if just eating yogurt is good. So who can tell me what are the probiotics and if what are some of the benefits?
I take probiotics, and it puts good yeast into your stomach. And I have found that since I have started taking it, that I have less complications with whatever. I just find that I don't get as much. I don't know if it has anything to do with it, acid reflux, or I just find that it makes me feel better. And I also read an article that says you want to buy it in a dark glass.
Okay.
Because I guess that is better for the probiotics. Now, there's something else that has to have certain things. I don't know the technical terms, but I've checked mine, and they have all those.
Okay. Do you get it in a capsule form? Okay,
yes.
Not a liquid.
No.
Right?
And I've tried the powder, and I'm just not very good about that, so I get it at capsules.
Okay.
And I get it at Vitamin Shop, and it's expensive. It's about 100, and something to 90 capsules.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you get a really
Makes Vitamin Shop happy.
It's the Try something. I can't remember the brand.
Okay, so a lot of that is right on, very correct. So probiotics, there was a recent Danish study that they studied close to 300 people, some heavy, some lean. And they wanted to compare the bacterial content of people that were overweight or obese with normal people. And what they found out was that people that were leaner had about 40% more diverse gut bacteria than people that were heavier. Also, the gut bacteria diversity was directly associated with diseases such as diabetes, hypertension, heart disease, and cancer. So it promoted better diversity, promoted less insulin resistance, results in diabetes and a lot of related diseases, and less inflammation. So that was a huge breakthrough. They also did a study on rats that they got a lean rat and a heavy group of rats, and they took the stool from the lean rat, they transplanted it into the heavy rat, and they noticed that the heavy rat started losing weight without any dietary change. Another study that they did was that they looked at what are the bacteria exactly, because there's about between 10 to 100 trillion bacteria that we carry in our gut at every time, and some of them are better than the other. And they saw that obese people had more concentration of a certain bacteria called Firmicutes and less concentration of a certain group called Bacteroides. So when we do stool cultures, we can actually look for we can have the lab look at how much Firmicutes versus how much Bacteroides, and usually if the ratio is 2 to 1, then those people have more propensity to being obese. Meaning the Firmicutes bacteria absorb more calories than the Bacteroides. So those were all things that were great research. So how do we apply it to our everyday life? So probiotics are a group of bacteria. There's 4 big classes. There's the Lactobacillus, Bacteroides, Bifidobacter, and Saccharomyces. So these 4 groups have a lot of species by themselves. Some of them are yeast, like the Saccharomyces, and some of them are bacteria. And each of them help digest certain types of food. Some of them help digest carbohydrates. Some of them help digest lactose. That's where the lactobacillus comes from. And they help with our digestion, besides the digestive enzymes. What they need is food for themselves. So you need to feed them for them to be active. That's why yogurt is kind of a symbiotic area, because it has the bacteria, the life cultures, and it has the food. So it's kind of more lively. the capsules that you're talking about are usually the probiotic. When you look at a capsule, you want it to be basically more, you have a few different species rather than just lactobacillus or acidophilus or something. And also you want to look at the expiration date. Some of them say good till a certain date. Some of them are only the 10 billion or whatever the content is only good at the time of manufacture. So you want to make sure it says the expiration date is a year at least away. Otherwise, when you're taking it, a lot of the stuff is already dead. And if you're taking the capsules, you definitely want to take them with food. Because if you take it by itself, again, those are not going to survive. And their food is a lot of grains and fruits and vegetables. So the fiber that they get from grains, so that's why people that eat more raw food, the diet high in fiber, fruits, vegetables have a better content of probiotics and are healthier in general. And also the risk of cancer, generalized type of inflammatory cancers is less in them. The other thing that they realize is that infants, when they're born, their gut has no probiotics absolutely. So when they start giving them probiotic drops, their rate of colds and infections and things is about 70% less than infants that are not getting them. And breastfed infants are getting probiotics through touch with the body of the mother and also through the breast milk rather than bottle fed. Because bottle fed is almost getting no probiotic. So breastfed, that's the whole concept with the breastfed. Babies have better immune system because they're getting more of the good probiotics that will improve the immune system. So, any questions?
I've noticed a difference.
Good, yeah. For digestion, it helps. The yogurt content you always want to look because not every yogurt is the same. Kefir has a very high content of probiotics. Greek yogurt again had Activia has about 5 billion, but the problem with Activia is it's very sweet. So
I noticed with the yogurt though, you have to really check the sugar content.
exactly.
Some of the yogurts you think are great, and then you look at the sugar and you're like, oh my god! And it takes 4 grams of sugar to equal 1 teaspoon. Mm-hmm. So if you're looking at 32 grams of sugar, it's a lot of teaspoons of sugar.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that until I was, reading articles, and I'm like, what am I doing? Going like this with the yogurt, cucumbers. My family's Armenian, so we do the cucumbers with the mint and all that. And I'm going, no, I'm not listening.
Yeah. Yeah, usually like some type of a Greek yogurt, they usually have about 7 carbs per serving, so it's less. But a lot of the fruit yogurts have a very high carb content, which yeah.
What about the raw probiotics?
The raw liquid?
The powder is you should keep that in the
fridge. Yeah. So the raw probiotics also you have to mix it either with. It would be good to mix it either with something like granola or quinoa or something. So you're mixing it with fiber to. Or yogurt, or like a plain Greek yogurt. So you're mixing it with food, it becomes more active.
So in these discussions with probiotics, do they bring up triphala at all?